In 1884, Charles Reynolds commissioned the building of Lynton Hall. Lynton Hall was designed by the famous architects Street Wilson and Fife. Many of Street Wilson's buildings are landmark national monuments. These include the Pietermaritzburg City Hall and the Pietermaritzburg Railway Station. The Pietermaritzburg Railway Station became internationally known for the notorious incident where Mahatma Gandhi was removed from a first-class carriage in 1893 because he was non-white. In 1919, Sir Frank acquired Lynton Hall from his brother Charles, and over the years made many alterations and improvements. It became the Reynolds family home. As a special privilege arising from his position in the Natal colonial legislature, Sir Frank was able to obtain a choice of beautiful plants imported from Kew Gardens in London by Durban Botanical Gardens. He established a beautiful garden at Lynton Hall, which today is still something of a heritage garden where several, now rare, hybrids and self-seeded plants dating back to those days can be found. The Union of South Africa was formed in 1910. It brought together what had previously been the two British colonies, the Cape and Natal, and the two previously independent Boer republics of the Transvaal and the Orange Free State. Boer General Louis Botha became the first Prime Minister. He and Sir Frank became great friends over the years. This is the story of Lynton Hall. Hey you guys, JP here. Today we are at Lynton Hall. As I've explained previously, we're doing a whole shoot of Umdoni Park. With me we've got Ivan in this beautiful, beautiful place. Ivan will give us some information and history regarding the place and his position here as well. I hope you enjoy this tour. This place is immaculate and beautiful. So from here I'm going to give it over to Ivan. Let he take you through the house and explain what's going for what.
Hello viewers, my name is Ivan. I'm the estate manager of Lynton Hall, and next year being November next year will be my 20 years working for the Reynolds family. So I work for the fourth generation of the Reynolds family, and I'm actually the fourth generation of my family that works for Lynton Hall. Okay, so Lynton Hall still belongs to the Reynolds family. It's now owned by the fourth generation, who's Ronald Munro Ferguson, lives in Scotland. The first generation was Charles Patrick Reynolds and Frank Reynolds. They actually started bought the sugar mill at Sizela and some of the sugar estates around the area, and they also had a sugar mill at Renisho and Esperanza. And after purchasing that sugar mill, they looked for a piece of land that was up on the hilltop, and they found this place and decided to build the house on this land. And the house was actually built, the first section of the house was actually built by Charles Partridge Reynolds, and then later on extended by Frank Reynolds. Okay, so this is Charles Partridge Reynolds, first generation. He left here in the early 1900s, and then he moved to South America. And then Frank Reynolds stayed on, and then later on he passed on. And then while Frank Reynolds was at Lynton, he bought a house at Umdoni for his friend Louis Botha, and then also built the cottage that's on the Umdoni Golf Estate. But before building Botha House, they built the Umdoni Golf Course, and then later on Botha House was built on the property, and then the cottage after that. So this is a picture of General Jan Smuts. He was family friend of Frank Reynolds, and most of the paintings in this house was done by also a family friend called Edward Rowett. So this room here is the first room, third generation. So third generation, the third generation of the Reynolds family is Jane Reynolds. So she lived in this one. The furniture here is from original. A lot of furniture in the house is original furniture, and the furniture was actually brought in from India. Some of it was brought in from Bali and Indonesia. Okay, so Lynton Hall emblem is the fox. Okay. So in Latin, it's on the glass at the bottom there. So in Latin, the fox is related with trust, and on the emblem on the glass there, it's if it's translated in English, it would mean trust in whom you trust. This room here is Umdoni room, related to the Umdoni Golf Course. If you look at 1800s, to detail work like this here. If you look at the size of the building as well, it's like, I think then, you didn't have proper machinery carrying heavy scaffolds and
Of course.
the building structures.
The difficulty.
So when they started building the house, the materials were actually brought from Durban to Lynton, oxen wagon, and then it took too long. The process of it. So what they did was they got a lighter sail and brought the materials from Durban to Rocky Bay in Pakreni, and then from Rocky Bay, it wasn't proper roads at that time. The rivers to Yoko, I think. So it was oxen wagons again. Materials from Rocky Bay in Pakreni brought the materials on the side here, and they started building the house.
That's a distance with Volkswagens,
Yeah,
actually.
It's quite a distance. And then later on, Frank Reynolds, they brought the first Rolls Royce to South Africa, and the Rolls Royce at that time, I assume to drive it was, flying an aeroplane. So what they did, they brought a chauffeur with the Rolls Royce, and then the chauffeur worked here for a while as a chauffeur for the family, and then later on became the butler, and then later on became the estate manager. And then Frank Reynolds' daughter, Molly Reynolds, so she used to live at that cottage there at Umdoni, and then she also had a place in Mugai, that's more Midlands. So she, I'm assuming by history, she was the first woman to be a pilot in South Africa, and on where the Lynton Hall driving range is, on the side, outskirts there. So that was actually her strip, and she used to land a small aeroplane in there. And then later on, they changed that into a gum plantation, and then they changed it into a sugar plantation. And then now it's running as a golf driving range, and there's a coffee shop there, a little restaurant in there as well. this room is Rohit's room. So head with Rohit. He was our heartless family friend. So this is Shlali room. So this is where Frank Reynolds and Charles Partridge Reynolds, they first started their sugar plantation with their dad, who was Thomas Reynolds, before they come to the South Coast. And while they were there in Shlali, they found about sugar mill at Zara, and they purchased that sugar mill, and then sugar mill thrived. And then later on they sold that mill. Yeah, so this is Umgai room, so related to Molly Reynolds. So Molly Reynolds, she had a house in Umgai. This is Zella room. So this room is related to the sugar mill that the family purchased. And the sugar mill was actually in Sizela. And this was actually brought in from, it was an entrance in a temple in India, but this was fitted on later on. It wasn't early 1900s.
A temple in India?
Yeah. Okay, so this is ENQUIRIES, Morning Star. So this one was named after Frank Reynolds. So he used to get up very early in the morning and walk on the estate before starting work. And the staff that used to come, the black staff that used to come to work early in that morning, they used to see him walking on the road, so they used to call him ENQUIRIES, which means Morning Star. This staircase was built for the kids actually, and if the kids were playing in the garden and they visited the front, and the kids were messed up, so they would have brought them up. The kids doing. That's what it's actually built for. Okay, so this goes up into the tower room. But when the family had the first generation, this was actually built. The room used to have water tanks in there, and they used that room or the turret above the room to watch for veld fires and cane fires while they owned the sugar estate in the area. So this was the butler's staircase, butler's room here, and this whole system here, if you need services in the drawing room or in the bedroom, this used to roll over. That used to ring there, so the butler will come out and provide services to that area.